Alright, hi. Um, it's me. I'm back again with another video. I think you kind of see me. Lighting is awesome. Oh well. I wonder if I don't want you all to see where I'm recording. Anyway, so I'm back with another video. That's better. Um, for Dancing with the Stars, season 21, week, I want to week 9. We're almost there, everyone. Sorry I'm a bit late with this. One, I just was running into problems, technical difficulties with internet. Two, when I did have time yesterday, I just wasn't feeling well. And on top of that, I think it's better that I waited because there have been some developments that happened. Um, that I feel like would be too late to talk about next week, and I don't want to make another video. Um, I'm still trying to figure out. Sorry, I heard myself. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to make a video for um, our review for the Real Housewives, but for now, we'll see. I just have this. I think I will, but since this season's almost over. But yeah, let's talk about it. So first, before we get into it, let's get into the what happened this week. So after the show on Monday, I guess Tamar went back to the hospital, and on Tuesday evening, I would say Tuesday, actually it would be Wednesday morning. It was about um, 12:30 where I live, or 2:30 on the East Coast. She released an Instagram post with her and Val. She was in the hospital, hooked up to IV and stuff, and said that and she had made it through to next week. Um, and she basically said that she was, um, pulling out of the competition, withdrawing herself from the competition and taking away, or not taking away, but canceling the rest of her tour dates with, I believe, Kim. I think she's on tour with Kim right now. Um, but yeah, she's canceling those tour dates and she is withdrawing from Dancing with the Stars because found out that it wasn't pneumonia that she had. She actually had pulmonary embolisms, which are clogged arteries in her lungs and stuff, which is much worse than pneumonia. And like she honestly like could have died Monday night. So I have a lot to say about that. But yeah, so best wishes out the best wishes out for Tamar. You know, thoughts and prayers are with her. Hoping for a speedy recovery. I know how awful those things are. My dad had pulmonary embolism 4 years ago now. Yeah, 4 years ago. A little over 4 years ago. He got it right before Easter in 2011. And her husband had it. She's had it. I think Serena Williams had it. A ton of people have had it. It's something serious. It leaves you in the hospital for a little bit. I know my dad was in the hospital for I think a week and a half, about yeah. So let's go ahead and get on. So first up we had Alec and Lindsay. They had a salsa. They got a 24. Um, like I have always said, I don't think fluid dances are Alex's thing. Never thought they were, never thought they would be. However, I do think that this was his best one. He had a ton of fun. You could tell he was just having a blast out there. For the first time, he really just had a just fun, just fun. Like of course he's always having fun, but this week he really it showed how much fun he was having, and I think it helps that he and Lindsay have made it so far, and they're really not expecting to. So I think that really helped just help have him enjoy this experience for what it is, because he has no pressure. He's the underdog, and nobody expects anything out of them. So it was great to see that. The lifts were great. I will say that the footwork was, yeah, it was a bit flat-footed. hips weren't moving too well. Um, but I mean, he got through the dance. He had a great attempt at it. It was his best Latin dance thus far, fluid Latin dance. I will say that his best Latin dance was his paso, um, technique wise, not performance wise, but technique wise. But yeah, so they got a 24. You know, decent score. Um, Judges never say anything nice. Well, they barely say nice things about him. Very, very small, and then they just go into all their constructive critiques about him. So next we have Carlos and was it no. It was Alexa. Alexa and Mark. They had the contemporary. They got a perfect score. This contemporary. Now, I don't like contemporary. I truly, there's only a few contemporaries that have been done on this show, on So You Think You Can Dance, that I truly enjoyed. This was one of them. Um, this is Mark created this dance as kind of talking about Alexa's struggle with bulimia, which is so sad to hear. That was such a heartbreaking story. Um, but you know, this dance was great. Um, Alexa really like this was the Alexa that we started to see week 5 during the switch up week, but it was that Alexa times 10. Like she was just finally, 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 finally just came all the way out and was like, I'm here. This is my moment. This is my time to shine. And she did. It was amazing. It was great. She did amazing with this dance. It was great to watch. Perfect score. Well deserved. Well deserved. It was so nice to finally see her come into her element and finally peak at the very right moment. And it's so sad to see her leave because both of her performances tonight, it was just like, oh my gosh, like had we been giving like seeing this Alexa from day one, like she would be giving Nick and Mindy a run for their money, like a legit run for their money because she like incredible. So next we have Carlos and Whitney, and they had a Argentine tango. They got a 27. Um, the song was terrible. It was to Justin Bieber's "What Do You Mean?" Is that what the song is called? What Do You Mean? Someone help me out. I don't pay attention to that boy. I say boy like he's not 6 months younger than me. Anyway, so I will say that when I first watched the dance, I enjoyed it a lot more than second viewing of it. The reason I say that is, um, it just there was a lot of things. It just seemed kind of the door thing. I'm gonna say the door thing didn't really seem like it fit too well. On top of that, it wasn't a good song for an Argentine tango. Thus, the mood was kind of thrown off. Um, and it just, for honestly, there just wasn't enough Argentine tango in it. Again, I fault the song a lot for this because the song was not an Argentine tango song. It was very inappropriate for it. But you know, you have to do what you gotta do. Um, yeah, it just. I am glad that it seems like Carlos cut the man bun off his head. Is that what y'all call it, man bun? Um, yeah, I'm glad he cut that off his head. He looks so much better without that on. Not saying that to a slight with anybody who has it, but for Carlos, he just kind of looked. I don't know. It just didn't work for him. It didn't really work for him. So yeah, we got a 27. Great score. Um, who's next? Who's next? Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. Um, Who was next? Bindi. There we go. Bindi and Derek, they had a Viennese waltz. It was to Mark and his girlfriend's song, which is actually a great song. Like I didn't expect for it to be that good, but it's a very beautiful song. And then at least it was doing really well on iTunes right after the show and the day after the show. I'm not sure if it's still doing well. I hope it is, because it really does deserve success because it is a great song. It definitely came out of nowhere. I'm glad they did it as Viennese Waltz to the song. But the Viennese Waltz itself was beautiful. It was fantastic. It was gorgeous. I loved it. Can't say anything else about it. Bindi as well as Alexa were on their A game tonight. They came out and really, really sold everything that they did. And this perfect score was well deserved also. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it. It was flawless. It was breathtaking. It was ethereal. It was just amazing. I loved it. Next we have Nick and Sharna. They had a quick step. Um, it wasn't very quick. It didn't have a lot of quick step content. As a result, it kind of took my enjoyment away because I love quick steps as number one. Number two, I can, um, if a dance decides to bend the rules, if the choreographer decides to bend the rules of a dance a little bit, that's fine to me. I'm all for like creativity and stuff. I'm not gonna say, oh, she shouldn't have done anything like that. But for me, as long as the actual dance that they do is um, done well and they have enough of it where I could be like, okay, this is cool. Because for me, when Derek did dances like Sean's quick step from season 15 and Nicole's quick step from season 10, to me, although Nicole's quick step isn't one of my favorite dances ever, um, both of those dances were great. Um, both of them bent the rules a little bit, and broken hold and lifts and stuff. But they still resembled quick step enough where I could, and the quick step that was done, I still was like, okay, well, the quick step that was done really well, for the most part, minus a few little things. And when you do stuff like that, the first thing that goes seems to be body contact, which was missing in both of those dances. But I can look past that and be like, okay, well, as a dance, this is great. Score wise, I understand why you take points off, but as a dance, as a performance, it's something to watch. It was amazing. So that's how I look at this. When I looked at Nick's dance, performance wise, it was great. However, I can't look past the fact that there wasn't that much quick step content in it because literally it was like a minute and 45, a minute 50 seconds dance. He probably was in hold for 45 seconds tops at the max, at the very max, and that is me being generous. That's me being generous because I don't think he was in hold for 45 seconds. Um, but the rest of the time he was dancing out of hold, and although that part was nice, he was out of sync one portion, and then in another portion, um, or during the hold, he just lacked body contact. But other than that, like his frame was bad. His butt was sticking out as it does in the ballroom dances. And he just seemed really like stumpy and almost like not in control of like the bottom half of his body and really like below the knees seemed really messy. It was strange, but they got a 28. Um, Again, decent score. I personally would have given them an 8 for it. It's when I miss Lane is when you get dancers like this who he would have destroyed people for. Which I don't like him destroying people for dances that take creative risks, but honestly, I do miss the fact I do miss that the dances this season have been really um, lenient the judges have been lenient on the dances, and a lot of the dances haven't even really resembled what they're supposed to be. So, I do miss Lynn for that because I miss these dances actually looking like somewhat looking like what they're supposed to look like. Finally, we had Tamar and Val. They had a contemporary. Again, this goes back to her being sick. She went to a hospital during, like, right after her individual dress rehearsal performance. So they showed that because she wasn't in the studio. She was sick with what was called pneumonia for the longest. But yeah, she I mean, you could tell it was a dress rehearsal. So I'm not going to really get into critiquing a dress rehearsal because it's a dress rehearsal. What I will critique is the fact that Val's contemporary was very, it left a lot to be desired. It wasn't very good. The choreography itself, I don't know what the judges are talking about where it's like so beautiful or whatever, because it wasn't. It was boring. There wasn't anything that really happened. It was very basic. Um, yeah, whatever. They got a 22. Mm. I mean, yeah, it was a dress rehearsal. They're scoring a dress rehearsal, and it wasn't very good. What else can you do? So we move on to the duets round, and first we have everybody's paired off into pairs, or pairs, paired off into pairs, into groups. So our first group is Alec and Lindsay and Carlos and Whitney, and they did a Paso Doble, so We Will Rock You from the, they went on the Anthem of the Seas cruise. Um, it was so nice to see that package because it really humanized Carlos the way that he absolutely needed it. He was presented in the most real way that I've seen him this season. Him interacting with Alec and just having fun with him and stuff. That that's what I've been waiting to just someone who's just having fun and not really wrapped up into the politics and how the show goes and really trying to impress the viewers so that you can win. Because I mean, obviously it's smart to do that, and you want to do that if you want to win. But I also want to know who you are as a person, and I don't want to feel like I'm just looking at you as someone I really enjoyed and just like, what's going on here? So they have Paso Doble. They got a 25. I honestly thought it was pretty good. I didn't see any issue with it. Or did they get a 24? They got a 24. I didn't see any issue with it. It wasn't bad to me. It wasn't the greatest dance ever, but it wasn't as bad as the judges made it out to be. And I thought it should have been scored higher. I thought it should have been 3-9, 2 9s at the very least. I thought the solo part was great. I thought um, they were in sync for the grand majority of the time, minus when they were out of sync right in front of the Jets table, which again is a bad time to be out of sync. But it was just one time. And I really liked the drums part. And then the star lift, I know people talk about like Alex and Carlos and the difference in star lifts and whatever. But honestly, the fact that they were both able to pull that off is amazing because I can't do it. So like if I can't do it, I see you do it, props to you because I can't do it. Um, so next we have Bendy and Alexa. They had with Derek and Mark. They had their Charleston or was it a jazz? I'm not sure what it was. They didn't really clarify it, and it changed. Like some people were told Charleston, some people were told jazz. I think it was a Charleston, but they ended up having to make it a jazz because the Charleston doesn't really go with the very first song that they had, which was All That Jazz. You can't really do a Charleston to that song, so I will say that they did extremely well. Perfect score, well deserved. Very so well deserved. It was amazing. Both of them together, it was incredible. I was just waiting to see something go wrong. Nothing went wrong. It was just amazing to watch it. It was my favorite dance of the night and my favorite dance this season. It was just so great to watch. I do wish they would stop putting Bindi in ugly wigs because that wig was atrocious, and they keep putting her in those terrible blonde wigs. But I think it was as a dance and performance and all that, it was amazing. Finally, we have Nick and Tamar. They did a rumba to the Cirque du Soleil Beatles Las Vegas show, and Tamar showed up for this. I don't like how they made her showing up into a sideshow. Like, is Tamar going to show up? Is Tamar going to dance? Is Tamar going to make it here in time? Tamar is on her way. Blah blah blah. Like this woman, like coming from the hospital. Um, we don't need to be doing that. So she did well, or not she did well. I will say that she did connect with Nick, but she didn't connect with Val. As soon as she was in Val's arms, she died. Like, not died, I'm sorry. Her performance just went down. Whereas when she was with Nick, she kind of lit up a little bit as much as you can when you're out on the floor with pulmonary embolism and literally fighting for your life, which I have a lot of issues with that because as a person who was, hold on, be right back. Sorry, laptop about to die on me. Um, okay. So, okay, besides the fact that, oh wow, it looks better already, I think, yeah. Um, Charging really helps. Anyway, um, besides the fact that, what was I at? Sorry. Okay, being someone who was going to go into the medical field, knowing that and having my own medical things where I wasn't clear to do things because there was a possibility that I could have died had something gone wrong. Because I had a concussion my senior year of high school. I wanted to swim a swim meet. I had told the trainer had made me check in with him before the swim meet. Um, and I checked in with him and I said, look, I said, I think I can do this. When I dove in, my head felt like it was gonna fall off, but I think I can do this. He's like, no, you're not gonna do this because that right there means that you're not ready. I'm pulling you out of this. And I was devastated. But I couldn't do anything about it because he said had I dove into the water and died, the school would have been at fault for letting me swim. That's just how it goes. So the fact that she went to the hospital and left against their wishes and then came back to the show and was able to get out on that floor and not one single soul asked her, hey, can you do this? Are, 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 are you able to do this? Not one person, not somebody from the legal team, not somebody from their medical team, because those people were there. Not anybody from just production, not anybody who just honestly is just like, hey, you just came back from the hospital. You're not looking too hot. Can you do this? Because she didn't look hot at all. She looked awful. She looked terrible. Um, but they were so busy trying to make this sideshow of it and trying to just just wring every bit of drama out of this one thing that had such a hard arm for all this drama that they couldn't care less about Tamar and the fact that she probably could very well could have died out on that floor. Not saying that she almost did, not saying that it did happen or anything, because obviously it didn't. But it could have happened. And had it happened on live TV, then you'd have a lot of stuff going on. You'd have a lot of people being sued. The show straight up get canceled. That's it for the show. Nothing more. As much as they're trying to get this show to keep going, keep going, keep going, if they were to do that, the show's done. Nobody's going to want to come back on a show where somebody died because their legal team and their medical team and the rest of the team was too caught up in, oh my gosh, making for great TV to check in and make sure that Tamar is doing fine and that she didn't just walk out of the hospital because although you're not supposed to, people can do that because you're an adult and in a hospital, although you can, it, they can't keep you if you're saying, no, I want to leave. And if you just up and leave, they can't keep you. They can't force you because you're not a child. And if you're cognizant and you're able to make decisions on your own, they have to let you do what you're going to do. So if she said, hey, I'm going back, and they're like, okay, cool. Nobody else did anything. Come on. So back to the dance. The dance is terrible. There was way too much going on. There's a lady flipping around. There was rose petals. There was, I guess, rumba in there somewhere. Um, the Cirque du Soleil people like just stormed on stage or whatever. I don't know how they got there and started doing all their thing. And the screen was like super sunny and like pinkish orange and peace and love and the costumes and I'm just sitting and like the lighting and I'm just sitting there like what is going on? And I couldn't see anything. There was just so much going on that all I saw was stuff. Stuff, that's it. I didn't see anything else. I was just like it was way too stimulating. Whoever Val and Sharna should have known that that was just going way too far, and that just wasn't. That was just way too stimulating of a performance, and nobody was going to be able to. It wasn't going to come across well. So that just seems like a rookie mistake. That really does seem like a rookie mistake that I wouldn't expect from either one of them, especially not Sharna. But let's. I guess um, what was they got a 27. I honestly thought that was high. Thought that was really high um, for that dance. Um, I can't say anything else about it. So yeah, we get to the elimination. Of course, I talked about this at length in my blog and on Twitter and stuff. Um, they put the married couple in jeopardy as everybody knew they would as soon as one of them was going to go home they were going to fill out the other jeopardy spot with the other one and that's exactly what they did. They put Carlos and Alexa in jeopardy. I'm so glad that Carlos called them out on it because that was also terrible, the fact that they went between commercials and showed the camera on them and like turned their mics on and were like it was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Like, I just want to watch a dance show. If I want to see all this, I will go to the other reality shows that aren't competition based. Um, but yeah, it was just sickening to watch. Alexa was kicked off. Carlos was crying like a baby or whatever. He's just big as a crocodile tears, like he wasn't about to leave and go home with her in like 2 minutes. Um, so Um, yeah, that that was strange. Um, but mm, I mean, I get that he was disappointed and wanted her to leave, not leave. He did say he wanted her to leave on multiple occasions. He wanted to be they're longer than her. But I guess he didn't want her to leave, and he was just like, trash talking, just to trash talk it, have fun and stuff, whatever. Ooh, this is a long video. Let me finish this up. This is 30 minutes. Um, but yeah, you know, it was just awful to watch all that. Honestly, and this is where I will fault Tamar. She should have pulled out. She knew that she wasn't in any condition to dance next week. Um, honestly, you could feel yourself not being in the place to do something when your health is on the line. I get that she's hard-headed. Yes, she's very hard-headed. She's headstrong. She wanted to prove people wrong. Um, but I mean, to lose Alexa, and then let her like 24 hours later, like probably 26 for me, 26 hours later, um, have her come on Instagram and say, okay, well, I have to pull out of the competition now because I just have too many issues going on with me. Then it's just like you just feel robbed because two couples are gone now. One who could have very well kept going, who probably would have made it to the final. I'm pretty sure based on these scores and how well and that she did this week in that package, based on all of that alone, Alexa would have been a lock for the finale next week, as would have been Bindi and Nick. The only person who would be fighting would be Carlos and Alec, and I'm pretty sure it would have been Alec that beat out Carlos. So I'm thinking that um, had she actually withdrew from the competition like everybody thought she was, because there were reports going around the show and stuff that she actually was going to withdraw, and then it just totally changed when she came back, and then they did eliminate somebody. But yeah, it I'm not even gonna say it's fair or anything because being fairness has nothing to do with it. It's just more of a Tamar. I just wish she would have in that moment thought about herself more. And when I say think about herself, as in think about what she's able to do, and then think about what she's potentially taking from another person. Because, like I said, she knew that she wasn't in any position to dance. Everybody knew when we saw her get done with that rumba, and she had to sit down. It looked like she was about to pass out right in front of everybody. Everybody knew she was in no way, no shape to perform next week or perform for the rest of the competition. Um, she knew that. Val knew that. Val honestly should have taken her aside and been like, look, this isn't worth your health. Just go ahead and withdraw. We've made it to week 9. You have nothing else to prove. You got a perfect score. You made it to week 9. Um, you know, you did well. You don't have anything else to prove. Let's just go ahead and bow out now. That's what he should have done, but he didn't. So honestly, there's just a lot wrong with this. Um, there's just a lot wrong with the show this week. A lot wrong and a lot that was done to make me honestly just sit there and ask myself, legitimately ask myself, why do I watch this? Why do I need to keep watching this show? Should I stop? Um, because I mean, I'm at that point where I don't know if I want to watch anymore. We will see though. I'm hoping that it's better next week. I don't think they can get any lower than this, but you never know. I but like I said, I hope it's better next week. I'm praying that it's better next week. They're changing up some stuff, I guess, to accommodate the fact that they can't bring Alexa back. There's not enough time to bring her back, and Tamar withdrew, and therefore they're going to have like time left over to do stuff. So yeah, I think basically, what was I gonna say? That's it. So yeah, this is a really long video. You don't have to watch this. If you click on it, that's cool. If you watch it all, that's great. Thank you for watching it all. You honestly don't have to. It's a 35-minute video. Um, I wasn't expecting for it to be long. I was going to cut it off at about 18 minutes, but I got caught up in talking about Tamar and Michelle and how terrible everything was. Um, but yeah, um, go ahead. If you liked it, please like the video. Please comment if you get to the end, or if you just want to comment, just comment. And please subscribe if you like this. I think I'm probably gonna put out that Real Housewives videos, reviews, and something else. I have to figure out what. Maybe some random stuff. But yeah, I will talk to you all next week. Until next time, bye.